dropped off my first Instacart delivery for the day. It was a shop and delivery as opposed to picking up to-go orders and delivering those, which shopping adds a little bit more of a stressful element because they kind of time you. Not that it matters, I think, but it's just a little bit more stressful, especially if you're not super familiar with the store yet. So she ordered some ice cream and it was like a pretty far drive. Of course, I get the frozen items last, as I would hope what a shopping service person would do for me. But still, it was a pretty far drive to be ordering ice cream. And also, it's so hot out today. My car says it's 79 degrees out right now. And it's November 6th. That is just crazy. I'm doing a spending challenge for myself this month. I want to challenge myself to earn all of the money that I need to cover my variable expenses by using side work or gig work like Instacart. You know, anything that's not my W-2 work. Because I think it'll just be a neat challenge to see if I can do it to maintain my current lifestyle that I have, which is incredible work-life balance because my W-2 work is so infrequent. So my hope for the month was to go out and make money preemptively whenever I wanted to go spend money. So go get groceries or go get gas, as well as things I know I have coming up like vet bills. As I mentioned, the intent was to start out in the positive and make money before I had to spend anything. But unfortunately, I'm starting in the negative already. And that's because I had a boat trip come up we left on the night of the 1st. So it came up and I needed to go to the store and get some food to take with me on the boat. So I had to very quickly spend money. And the boat trip I thought was going to be the next day, but he wanted to leave that night before midnight. So I didn't have the option to go make money first. I just had to go to the grocery store, go home, pack my boat bag, and get ready to leave the house. Luckily, the boat trip was 2 days plus like 8-ish hours. So that is a positive thing for my W-2 income. But my focus for the month is the side work. And when I got back from the boat trip Monday morning, I stopped and got coffee and a snack on the way home because I wasn't able to keep any food or water down for like 48 hours before that while I was on the boat. So I was really hungry, really thirsty, and it was much needed. It was just a few dollars, but went further in the negative. And then I needed to get gas also once I got home. So I'm already starting the month roughly just shy of $80 in the hole with this whole goal of side work to make money first. And I know I have vet bills coming up in a couple weeks. So I've just completed the first drop off. The payout from that first trip was $21.60. And now I'm just waiting for the next shop to pop up. Hopefully it will be a busy night. I don't know. It's a Wednesday. I have not done it enough to notice any kind of pattern or if there's any days that are better than others. The other 2 times that I've done this have been, I think, a Tuesday and a Thursday night or something like that, and I made over $90 each time, and I only did it for a few hours, so it worked out pretty well. So I'm just headed back towards town now, and I'm gonna kind of centrally locate between the 2 grocery stores that I have done shops out of, and one of which is actually quite busy, and so I'm hopeful that that store will start picking up with orders as the afternoon goes. If I'm being honest with you guys, I think the hardest part of this challenge is going to be more mentally than financially. More than just trying to see if I can make enough money to cover all of my variable expenses while I'm having such a low W-2 income. I think I need to do this challenge to prove to myself that I can get by on a low W-2 income and cover everything else that I might need outside of anything crazy, of course, but that's what sinking funds and an emergency fund are for. But otherwise, monthly variable expenses and anything that comes up, anything I want or need to buy, if I can cover that with side work and maintain a low amount of W-2 work and therefore maintain this amazing work-life balance that I have and keep this incredibly happy state of mind, like this is the happiest I've ever been in my life, and that is because the amount of free time. And obviously that emergency fund, as we've talked about in many videos on this channel, having a 12-month emergency fund is overarching the largest positive thing that I've been able to do for my mental health. But aside from that, so has been deciding to step away from a 9-to-5 and try this contract position, which has not been giving me as much work as I'd hoped or as I was told that it would when I took the job. But I'm trying to be okay with it because of the work-life balance that I do have and how much joy it is bringing me. And it's not because I don't want to work. It's because I want the option to work when and how and where I want to work. Now, with my W-2 work, I'm a fisheries observer, so I go out on commercial fishing vessels, and it's random, it's sporadic, you never know when it's gonna happen. I never know when it's gonna happen until the day before, so it is a pain in the butt in that sense, and I do get really seasick, but the positives outweigh the negatives when I look at all of the free days that I have per month, all of the days that I'm not spending on boats, that I'm not getting seasick, and they vastly outweighs the ones where I am. And that's a really big deal to me. And so even though I am spending most days utterly happy, it doesn't mean I don't have negative thoughts. But the recurring one that I can't seem to squelch is that in some way I'm waiting for some other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for something to happen or for someone to tell me that this isn't reality, and one day, for whatever reason, I'm gonna have to go back to a 9-to-5, back in an office, back in an environment that I hate. And look, I'm not saying all 9-to-5s are bad and they're in a cubicle under fluorescent lighting. That's not what I'm saying at all. Some people love their 9-to-5s or whatever job that they have that takes up the vast majority of their waking hours, and that's amazing. But I have just never had that experience. I've had jobs that were okay for sure, but there's just something about the freedom that I have now that is just infinitely better to me. For whatever reason though, it crops up in my mind pretty frequently, and luckily I can kind of compartmentalize it as, okay, it's a thought, it doesn't mean it's reality, and let it go. But it comes up a lot, and the fear that something is going to happen and I'm going to have to go back to a 9-to-5, and this is actually just some kind of like weird extended vacation. It's not reality. Like I said, my logical brain quickly turns it off and says, no, that's not true. I can do this if I make an effort to do this. And luckily, I had the foresight in previous years to kind of set myself up with the kind of today that I have now. I didn't think it would look like this by any means, but it's okay. Like, I knew delayed gratification was going to someday get me to a much higher level of happiness, and I feel like I'm there. And that's because past me did those things, like save that emergency funds, decide to save up sinking funds, work at that nuclear plant for 5 years plus 1 day, and like be completely miserable and broken during that time. It was the worst mental health of my life and horrible work-life balance. I worked a minimum of 50 hours a week, but typically 60 plus, and all rotating shifts. And oh my god, it was a terrible chapter of my life, but I'm so glad I did it. I made a lot of money during that time, and I continued to maintain my lifestyle as if I was still making the $36,000 a year that I was making at the job before that. And I just fisted so much extra money, first at debt and getting rid of credit card, medical bills, shitty private student loans, and an old used car loan, buying myself this vehicle after researching it for a long time and waiting until I found just the right thing, and then paying it off within 7 months, and then building up that 12-month emergency fund. I think I've already said that a million times, but like, it bears repeating. And then deciding to stay at that job for that 5 years plus 1 day so that I could be fully vested in a crappy pension that they were giving, but it was something, knowing that I was going to turn around, cash it out, and use it as a down payment for real estate, because I thought real estate investing was going to be my future, and it's not anymore. Like, no, I want no more of that. I'm trying to sell the one property I do have right now so that I can put a roof over my own head, but also combine that with that pension money that I cashed out. And I had been for years looking to use that money to purchase a house hack. And of course that was, in the years that followed the pandemic, when the housing market went crazy and everyone realized how effective house hacks can be to reduce your monthly housing payment. So I was just getting outpriced for years. And so, but now I can see in hindsight that worked out in my favor, because now I don't want to do real estate investing anymore. I would rather have my own little patch of land in my homestead and start living that dream. And that feels so right for me. And so I think it's so great that it never worked out, buying any real estate beforehand, because it wouldn't have been the right thing. It wouldn't have been in the right location. And, as frustrating as it was for those few years, the universe had better plans for me, and I'm now grateful for that. So because of all of that, I can squelch those negative thoughts when they crop up of waiting for that shoe to drop and the fear of having to go back to a crappy 9-to-5. So I think that by challenging myself to cover all of my spending by going out and doing side or gig work whenever I feel like it, if I can financially show that it's going to be a positive thing and I can do it, I think it will definitely help mentally turn down the fear of having to go to a different job that I do not enjoy and go back to feeling stuck somewhere. And of course, it is a little bit of societal pressure as well. I feel very much like I'm weird for not wanting a normal job. I know my parents think I'm strange. It's definitely becoming less of a weird thing these days. There's so much gig work out there. Everyone does it. And especially with the major increase in remote work. Like, it's all, what even is a normal job anymore? But I feel like the narrative is still there. And so that, I think, plays a part in it a little bit too. The pressure to feel like you have to do what's normal or else you're not doing it right. I don't know. But screw that. I know I'm doing things right when I'm happy. And by that I mean what's right for me. For me. Always that caveat. You gotta figure out what's right for you. Still no deliveries. It's 2:40 in the afternoon, so it's kind of an odd time, I guess. So I just got a batch order for 2 Hannaford to go pickup and deliveries. So you can pick them up together and deliver one and then the others. Hi, I have 2 pickups.
Alright, what parking spot are you in?
Number 6.
Momentarily.
Thank you. Bye. I just dropped off both of those 2 deliveries. They were pretty close in town, so that was nice. Ignore the fact that my baskets are now behind me. Forgot to take all of my work gear out of my car before I left. So next time, bring a cooler and ditch the work gear. But I forgot. I gotta be honest, I'm hungry now. All I've had today is a bowl of cereal, and that was a rookie mistake. Not bringing snacks was another rookie mistake. Cooler, snacks, no work gear. I just got back to Hannaford. There are no more orders just yet. Well, there's one that's over in Booth Bay. I'm not going to Booth Bay. That's ridiculous. It's a 30-minute drive just to get to the grocery store. And then who knows where they're going to need it, but I'm not doing that. I just dropped off those 2 deliveries, though, and that was a $26.65 batch, so that's cool. $49.19 so far for the day. But like I said, now I'm hungry, so while I'm back at Hannaford waiting for a batch, hopefully at this store to come up, I'm gonna go in and get a snack, which should have been better prepared. This snack is just gonna eat into my earnings. It's okay. It's okay. Cauliflower bites from the hot bar. Grossly overpriced. Oh well. Another shop just popped up, but it's in Brunswick. No, that's too far away. It's only $16 that it would be my payout. No, I'm all the way in Damariscotta. I'm not driving to Brunswick for what is potentially just one shop and then driving all the way back. But I'm happy to know that Brunswick is on here. That's the first time Brunswick has, any stores in Brunswick have popped up for Instacart. I got my registration, my corrected registration uploaded to Uber Eats, so I'm now approved to deliver with them again. And so this weekend, I think I'll have good luck with that in Brunswick, but like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So I'm happy to see that Instacart does have some shops that do pop up in Brunswick. So while I'm over there, I'll probably turn on both and just to hit as many things as I can. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because tonight is not turning out as fruitful as I was hoping. There have been some shops when I've done this before that have popped up in the evening, so I'm not giving up hope just yet. I'm just gonna finish my snack and I'll hang out a bit longer. It's only 4:15, even though it's getting really dark out already. It's all good. Almost $50 made for the day already, you know, minus gas, but not bad. Ugh, rookie mistake. I won't do that this weekend. I'll have snacks and a cooler and my junk out of the car. The sky behind you is so beautiful. I'm trying to decide if I feel like just calling it for the evening and going home or not. Another trip has popped up, but it's in Augusta. That's like a 45-minute drive just to get there. No, there hasn't been anything else that's been worth it yet, so maybe it's not just a great night, but I feel kind of lame going home with when I've only made $49.19 and spent like $13 and change on a snack. Oy. This is definitely different than the other times that I've done it, but it is okay. It might just be an off night. I have way more confidence that I'll make more this weekend, and I think that'll go really well. I'll probably call it for the evening. It's getting dark out, and I don't love driving at night. So I think I'm gonna go home and hang out with the cats, because that sounds lovely. And this new phase of life is happiness. So I'm gonna go do what makes me happy and head home. But I'll be back out this weekend. I'm excited to see what Uber Eats has to offer, and I'll probably take you guys along with me then. So if you're interested, stay tuned and we'll continue to try to get back out of the red and then make more than we need to spend for the rest of the month. See you guys soon.